from the Fox 10 Gulf Stream, this is Next Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith here with an update on Hurricane Idalia, a system that's likely going to pass a little to our east, but it could be a major hurricane hitting Florida's Big Bend region late tonight and early tomorrow morning. The eye starting to show up, but still obscured a little by upper level clouds. We're seeing a deep ring of convection now on the northern flank of the system. If this wraps completely around, we're likely going to have a major hurricane on our hands, and that's the forecast. And looking at some of the models, they're pretty much clustered on about the worst place this thing could come ashore from a storm surge perspective, from about St. George's and Dog Island back towards St. Mark's. And this is a very vulnerable stretch of coastline. Not a lot of beach here, especially once you get past St. George's Island and you get up into this little pocket here where it's a very low-lying area. There's a shallow shelf there, so very prone to storm surge, as there's a bit of a bowl which can contain the surge and funnel it. And right now, 100-mile-per-hour Category 2, the pressure 972 millibars as of the 4 o'clock advisory. And there's a look at that track. We expect north and then more northeastward as we get into tomorrow. And you may be wondering, what are the chances of it changing course? Well, there's a high pressure ridge here over the Bahamas, and so this is following the contour of the ridge. There's also an upper trough over our areas. All that works to bring it on a very certain course here towards Florida's Big Bend region. And it looks like it'll be far enough off of Tampa that things may be okay here. There's Cedar Key there. We will get some surge, but the further up the coast you go, the more likely we'll see problems. Could have big problems in areas over towards Lake City and the inland parts of Florida too. Our futurecast showing some local showers and thunderstorms through about 10 o'clock tonight. It'll be quieter overnight. Idalia will pass far enough to the east that we likely won't see any significant rain bands in our area. With the afternoon heating on the outer edges of it, we could get a few pop-up showers and thunder showers tomorrow, but our rain chances don't look all that impressive with Idalia. So if you don't get the rain this evening, then you'll have to wait, but not a whole lot longer. Tomorrow, temperatures with spotty rain around in the low 90s, a northerly wind tomorrow. Over the next 4 days as we head into the Labor Day weekend, rain chances are low on Wednesday and Thursday and quite elevated Friday and Saturday. That's going to be our next good chance of rain in the area with temperatures in the upper 80s. We'll look at your 7-day forecast in a bit, but first want to talk a little more about Idalia. The storm surge could be historic as it will impact one of the most vulnerable stretches of coastline in the United States. Meteorologist Matt Barentine explains.
Hurricane Idalia is growing into a monster as it works its way up the west coast of Florida. The big concern here is that we could see an historic storm surge with this system. And to understand why, we have to go underwater with a bathymetry map. This is basically the elevations here under the Gulf of Mexico. And right along the west coast of Florida, that is where the shallowest part of the Gulf is. And not only is it really shallow there, but look at the shape of the land. It's almost like a catcher's mitt. So as this storm works its way up the west coast of Florida, it's going to be able to build a huge storm surge, and it's not going to have anywhere to go but right in through that area. And that's why the National Hurricane Center has marked this area out for an 8 to 12-foot storm surge, higher than what they've ever seen there. And this area is extremely low-lying, and there's some fishing communities like Steenhatchee, like Cedar Key, and Horseshoe Beach. All those areas will be threatened by this very high storm surge. So this is something that we're going to be watching out for as Hurricane Idalia makes its way north here along the western coast of Florida.
All right, as the rain has been starting to appear in our area, how much are we seeing? Meteorologist Michael White has a look at some of the totals have been looking like for us.
Jason, you want to know why it's a little darker in my office than it normally is? It's actually been raining outside, something I feel like I haven't seen in a good couple of weeks here at my house in Spanish Fort, here in the home office. Actually got some beneficial rain. A lot of you got some beneficial rain, and that's the good news because we've needed it. Drought conditions have climbed. We have dealt with fire dangers across the Gulf Coast. That's going to continue for a while longer, but look at the rainfall totals that we saw as of Monday night. Now, this does not factor in any rains that we would have seen today, but this does factor in rains we saw throughout the entire day on Monday. And where you see the black, those are spots that did not pick up any rain. So unfortunately, there were a few of you that did not see rain on Monday, but I would say at least 70-80% of the area got a shower. Where you see the gray, those are rainfall totals that are about a quarter of an inch to about half an inch. Where you see blue, those are rainfall totals over 1 inch. Where you see the green, those are rainfall totals over 1.5 inches. And where you see the purple, those are rainfall totals of over 2 inches of rain. So several, and where you see the dark blue is 2.5 inches. So there were spots that just got drenched. Washington County, you're one of those spots. Chatham especially got hit hard with heavy rain. Saraland got a huge rain total. Malbus got a huge rain total. But again, there were spots that didn't see as much. But of course, we have seen more rain today, and there's going to be a lot more rain as a result of Idalia. This is the rainfall total estimates that runs all the way through Labor Day Monday night. And you can see for the Gulf Coast, projections are for about, I'd say 0.5 inch to 1 inch of rain on average. Again, that's an average. That's what most spots will see. Some of you more than that, some of you less than that. But the highest rainfall totals are east of Port St. Joe as a result of where Idalia is going to be making the most impact. It's projected to make landfall in the northwestern Florida peninsula tomorrow in the morning as a major hurricane, and we'll definitely be having live coverage on that throughout the day on Good Day Gulf Coast. But by far, that is where the highest rain totals are projected to be. Now, our impact from Idalia is not going to be in the traditional sense. We're not going to deal with the storm surge threat, the tornado threat, or anything like that, because if you're east of the center, that's the bad side. We're on the west side, which is the good side. We get offshore flow. Jason has talked more about that. But what we are going to get is a high rip current risk. We will see the rip current risk become high beginning this evening. As a matter of fact, tonight we are expecting to see red flags fly if they haven't been flying already. They're definitely going to be in play all day tomorrow and all day on Thursday. So this is the last unofficial week of summer because we're coming up on Labor Day weekend. So if you are a tourist down at the beach, you want to avoid the Gulf waters. The rip current risk will be extremely high, but of course we'll likely over the holiday weekend see that rip current risk dying back down. That's the good news. Well, we will continue to have more updates. I just heard thunder. Just heard thunder at my house. It is a glorious sound. We will continue to have more updates throughout the course of the day and night regarding Idalia here on Next Weather and on Fox 10. And we will be tracking Idalia's landfall live tomorrow morning on Good Day Gulf Coast. I hope to see you there. Jason?
Well, that's a good idea to tune in tomorrow morning for an update on that, what could be a major hurricane. Meanwhile, for us, we are just going to see the far outer fringes. May not see much rain at all Wednesday. Kind of in the wake of that system Thursday, but a surface front starts to drift back into the picture and will be the focus for showers and thunderstorms as we start the new month. September 1st on Friday, a 60% chance of rain, a 60% chance Saturday, highs in the upper 80s. Kind of a September look to it there. And then next week, so Monday is Labor Day Monday, and we do expect to dry out some into Monday and Tuesday of next week. It looks like we're going to heat up a little bit too. Highs getting into the mid-90s. So some rain opportunities, and the heat not expected to hit 106 anytime soon. So we're trending in the right direction there and dodging a major hurricane. That's your forecast. Thanks for joining us here on Next Weather.